Okay, algebra. Welcome to section 1.5. Use the problem-solving plan. My learning target, I can use problem-solving plan to solve problems, and I can solve problems in real-life situations. This is the most useful chapter you could ever, or section you could ever use or study. However, students don't tend to like this one very much. Bear with me. I know you can do it. Don't tell me you can't read this. You can. Okay, do your best. So, evaluate when F is equal to 40. Some of you might actually recognize this equation. This is the Celsius to Fahrenheit conversion. So usually there's a little circle there for each one. Well, what we need to do is substitute 40 in for F. So C is equal to 5/9. 40 minus 32. Remember your order of operations. We're going to do it inside of parentheses first. So I'll have 5/9. 40 minus 32 is 8. Multiply across the top, across the bottom. You have 40 over 9 degrees Celsius. Or, if you actually divide that, it's about 4.44 degrees Celsius. So when it's 40 degrees Fahrenheit, we know that's kind of chilly. It's 4.44 in Celsius. All right, for the warm-up for part B, this is our distance, is equal to the rate multiplied by time formula. So, find the distance, actually, when r is 40. Maybe you're going 40 miles per hour, who knows? And the t is 10. Time is 10. Multiply them out, 400. So I really don't know if this is miles per hour, but we're just using that formula in a generic sense. So here's our problem-solving plan. First of all, you want to read it. Try your best to understand. That's why you're working in groups. You really have to work together with each other. Make a plan. Okay, now figure out what you're going to do. And this is where a lot of people get stumped. Seek some help. You're going to notice that a lot of the story problems kind of have patterns. Go ahead, solve the problem, and look back. Double check your work. All right, example 1. One day you ran a rate of 0.14 miles per minute for 30 minutes. The next day you ran a different rate for 25 minutes. How far did you run for the 2 days? Well, if you use the distance is equal to the rate multiplied by time, let's look at day 1. You have 0.14 multiplied by 30 minutes. Here, I'm going to underline them so I can see them. And when you multiply those out, you're going to get 4.2. So that's our total distance. Let's try day 2. I actually used a calculator for that. All right, day 2, we have 0.19. So you're a little bit faster. But you're not going as far. So maybe it's a sprint day. Multiply these out, you're going to get 4.75. So if you'll notice, you actually went a farther distance than you did on day 1. So when you want your total, how far did you run for the 2 days? You want your total distance. Add them up. And that will be in miles. Please always try to put your unit in there. Example 2. On August 15th at 9 a.m., the temperature in Kenosha was 76 degrees, and in Lake Worth, Florida, was 31 degrees Celsius. Oh, this is in Fahrenheit, that's in Celsius. How much warmer was it in Lake Worth? Well, I'm going to use the formula that I have up here. I conveniently put it up in the warm-up on purpose. So I'm going to find out what Kenosha's temperature was in Celsius. So here's our formula. So C is equal to 5/9. I have 76 here for Fahrenheit. Use your order of operations. Let's figure out what that is. You have 5/9 times, what is that, 44? And when you multiply that out, you'll have 220 over 9. And when you divide that, you'll have 24.44 degrees Celsius. Remember the question says, how much warmer was it in Lake Worth? Well, Lake Worth, Florida, it was 31 degrees Celsius. So if I just take 31 minus 24.44, you're going to get 6.56 degrees Celsius. Now, that number will be different if we converted Lake Worth into Fahrenheit, but I haven't really showed you how to switch those around yet. Example 3. You are refurbishing a dresser from Goodwill. You bought it for $25. You paid $12.50 for materials, and then you sold the dresser for $200. What is your profit? Well, there's a formula for this. It's called P is equal to I minus E. P stands for profit. I stands for income. And E stands for expenses. So if I take my income, that was $200, and we're going to subtract our expenses. Well, you paid $25 for it, and then you had to buy materials like maybe sandpaper and paint. You're going to add $12.50. Well, 25 plus $12.50, that is, I'm doing what's inside of parentheses first, my order of operations. Add these up, you get $37.50, $37.50. Subtract it from 200, and your profit will be, this is not a bad gig, $162.50. This is a little bit of hard work goes a long way. I have a lot of friends that have bought furniture and have done this. It's kind of nice. All right, let's flip the page. And again, if I went too fast, pause this, play it again. Oh, we're actually done with this. But what I'm going to do here is there are different formulas here. This can help you in the long run. This is sometimes a page that students would put like a little post-it note or a tab on the side. If it's in a binder, you can find it again. So here is our degrees Celsius to Fahrenheit to Celsius, and then here's our Celsius to Fahrenheit. So here it is switched around. Simple interest, and I is equal to PRT. P stands for principal. That's your initial amount of money that you're going to invest. A rate, if it's a 5%, remember 5%, we have to change that to a decimal. That's 0.05. And then T stands for time. Distance traveled, D is equal to RT. Distance, rate, and time. I showed you that one. I showed you the profit one. And how about perimeter? Now, the reason why I have a lot of space here is because we're going to write down the formulas for different shapes. Say we have a square. Well, what's nice about a square is all side lengths are the same, right? S, 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 S. So the perimeter is just 4 of those. 4 times S. But an area for a square, here I'll underline that, area for a square is length times width, or in this case, they're the same. It's just side times side, or side squared. How about a triangle? A right triangle in particular. We'd have to use a little trigonometry if we wanted to work with that. So triangle, what about this perimeter? I'm going to label the sides A, B, and C. So in this case, perimeter is A plus B plus C. Perimeter is the distance around the shape. And the area is 1/2 your base times your height. But in this case, our height's going to be an A. So 1/2 B times A. Notice this farther length we're not using for the area. So it's the two sides that make a right angle here. Rectangle, and put them in different colors so you can see it easier. Okay, so I'm going to draw a rectangle. Usually we use length and width. The perimeter is just, we have 2 lengths plus 2 widths. The area is just length times width. Now, of course, we could change these to bases and heights and change the L to a B and then W to an H. That's fine. I know it's kind of weird to throw a circle in here because the circle doesn't have a perimeter. It has something called a circumference. But we're okay with this. Circumference is equal to 2 times pi times r is the radius. The radius is the distance from the center to the edge. And then the area is equal to pi r squared. Now again, you may not use all these formulas. I just thought it's kind of nice to have it right there. But everybody have a nice Labor Day weekend. This is considered a tricky section, but we're going to work on it together. Take care. Bye.